It's just when you lose a good young player, especially for a team like Dallas that never has any.
The young player they hit on.
Yeah, besides Luka.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Man, it was tough. It's tough to lose Jalen.
Well, so right now we're looking at a top 8-ish rotation for them. Luka, Spencer Dinwiddie, Tim Hardaway coming back, Dorian Finney-Smith, Reggie Bullock, Christian Wood, Maxi Kleber, JaVale McGee. Top 8 or so right there. How are you feeling about the state of the Mavericks right now?
I'm going to give you the positive spin.
Give me the positive.
Okay, so the positive spin, that's a really big team. Like, Brunson was their only small guard really on the rotation. And with Luka, we just talking about perimeter size.
Dinwiddie's 6'6".
He's huge. Yeah. And Dinwiddie is going to be the key. Dinwiddie, this will be his year 2 after his ACL. More often than not, that's the year guys gets it back because that's second year. And now he's just like everything. He has to be the second option. There's not even really a third point guard on this roster. So Dinwiddie's going to play like as much as possible. If he can be the Brooklyn Spencer Dinwiddie, where he's getting like 20 and 5, and he's using his size on defense, I think we're all good. But that's the key right now.
If the Mavericks get that version of Dinwiddie this year, will it have gone down as the right decision not to pay Brunson, assuming that opportunity was even there to exceed an offer? But would that have actually been the right decision? Because now, instead of having Brunson on the books, they could create cap space in 2024, 2025. It's still?
No, I've seen the Mavs use cap space for a long time now. It hasn't gone very well. You don't give up young players. Like, you just don't, because you trade them. That's what has currency in the league. You don't lose a guy like Jalen Brunson. It's like the Warriors with that salary slot, right? Yeah, you can create cap space, but really it's having salary slots that's more important the way the league is now. No one signs free agents. They don't sign in Dallas, that's for sure. That never happened.
And so that was the positive side of things. What's the negative side then?
Well, the negative side is now you're really depending on Spencer Dinwiddie. There's really nothing like
you're relying on Spencer Dinwiddie.
Because if he gets hurt, like, he's been hurt a lot.
Good and bad with the same point.
That's all. Like, he gets hurt a lot, and now he's like such an important part of your team. That's tough. I mean, Jalen had such great chemistry with Luka. He was such a big part of that locker room. And then we'll see the whole Christian Wood angle too. Like, that's going to change the team a little bit too.
Where's your level of belief in Christian Wood, Kyle?
He's one of those guys, if he can like rise to whatever situation he's in. I was talking about that a lot with like Jaden, that he struck me as that there's some players that just like, if they get in a situation where they don't respect the situation they're in, they just change. And it's kind of the DeMarcus Cousins thing, where it's like Boogie in certain situations would just play differently. And then when he was in Golden State, he busted his ass. He looked totally different. It depends on if Wood comes in and he respects what the Mavs are doing. He could look awesome. I mean, he has the tools, but he's just one of those guys that, like, I don't know. You made the comment about like Houston didn't seem heartbroken about him going. So it's like,
they definitely did not seem heartbroken. I think that's fair to say.
I think Christian Wood was heartbroken that he signed there to play with James Harden, and then James Harden bounced. Like, that was the whole plan, was Christian Wood is going to be some 3-point shooting big who can roll hard to the rim and, make plays off the bounce, off the pick and pop, and play off of Harden. Now you're playing with Luka. To me, like, on paper, I love the version of Christian Wood we saw his final few months with Detroit. I was excited for what he could have been in Houston. He still averaged 20 and 10 over 2 years there, despite a iffy situation, at times dumpster fire situation. And now he goes to play with Luka.
So here's how it's going to be set up. So the thing is like, yeah, Luka and Christian Wood in the pick and roll is going to be nasty. Christian Wood's going to get a lot of points. He's going to put up really big stats. The thing about it is, though, in Dallas, the way the team is set up, your big men's got to play defense. So the way the Mavericks really got going last year, it was Luka, Brunson, Bullock, Finney-Smith. So 2 ball handlers, 2 perimeter defenders. And I think that's the formula around Luka, but that means your big has to guard.
Can you play more than one big if Wood is there and he's spacing?
Well, see, I don't like that because I want to have 2 elite defenders with Luka. I have to have those guys, Bullock and Finney-Smith.
So you don't like the Wood-McGee front court for the Mavs?
I don't think that's the best approach. I think it's too big. I think you want a ball handler and defenders around Luka. That means
Wood-Kleber?
Maybe Wood-Kleber, but I think ultimately Wood's got to have to play defense for this team to succeed at a high level.
Yeah, with Christian Wood, offensively, you're right. He might actually put up all-star numbers.
Maybe. Yeah.
He really could, like where he's getting votes. Maybe even makes the team as a reserve. Who knows? But to actually do it, to actually make that, he's going to have to play the best defense of his life. He's been far too inconsistent throughout his career, far too passive, far too lackadaisical, lack of awareness. I mean, go up and down any way you want to criticize a defender. You could criticize Christian Wood that way. But in this situation, Kyle, to your point, if he plays up to the situation where the demand is defense, and that's where it's required to end games, to even just start for the team, to have the respect of the best player on the roster and Luka, that dude's going to have to defend. And for him, like, this is an opportunity to be a $100 million player. If he shines in Dallas, that dude is going to get paid with his skills.
And
He's
I
gonna
think
get paid.
this is the question too, is like what you're saying. Is this in his mind, does he think, so he's going to be a free agent, right? I guess is the point. He'll be free after this year. Is he thinking the best way for me to get paid is to get 25 and 12? Or is he thinking the best way for me to get paid is for the Mavs to go back to the conference finals and me play good team defense? That's going to be the crux of everything. Well, I sure hope so. If I get 25-12 all defense, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah. I guess some of that will come down to how, like, Luke, I mean, you wonder where, and then you know more about like their locker room kind of situation. It seems like the book on Luka has been that he's not quite there as like the locker room leader. Like, you can't really depend on him to be that
Just
guy.
having a good time, man.
Right.
Okay, it was funny. I was watching Wimbledon today, the Wimbledon final. And maybe some people here know this. This guy named Nick Kyrgios. He was the challenger for Djokovic. Kyrgios is this crazy talented guy, always been a hothead. And I'm watching him every time he plays, yells at his coach, yells at the ref, every point. I'm like, I'm watching Luka play tennis right now, man.
Wow.
Is there any chance? I mean, we're talking about the pros and cons of this roster. Is this late 2000s Cleveland with LeBron? Where
Don't
they
put that out there in the world?
I'm just
that energy.
I'm just asking the question. I mean, they've been to a conference finals already. LeBron had some deep playoff runs. They went to an NBA finals. Of course, got swept. That wasn't LeBron's fault. He had Boobie Gibson, starting on that roster.
He always gets the blame.
I mean, it's
Texas legend, man.
It's the name. It's
Texas
just
legend.
the name.
Yeah,
It just pops into my head. Yeah. It's not his fault. But I mean, with Dallas, I like the idea of the roster. It's just the level of talents and that Dinwiddie role, which is, I think, to your point, Tjarks, initially, a lot of it does come down to Dinwiddie and what he becomes. But that's also why the draft pick of Jaden Hardy makes so much sense for them.
Nice segue. Do you see that?
Brilliant.
That was good. I thought Kyle was the king of the segues. That was a heck of a segue.
Just an awe-inspiring trapeze artist of conversational
Went right
flow.
to the second round pick. That was fantastic.
Talking about upside and development. Wow.
Thank you very much.
Costas over here.
But with Jaden Hardy, though, big first game, 28 points, scoring all over the floor, hitting mid-range jumpers, hitting spot-up three-pointers off a movement, getting to the basket and finishing against contact, something he didn't do well at all in the G League. He was terrible finishing around the rim in the G League. But like, as someone who I liked Hardy in the draft, I kept him in my top 20. I loved him entering the G League when he was a top 5 high school prospect.
He was a top 2 high school.
A top 2 high school.
He was as decorated as anybody.
And he falls to the 30s in the second round. There's got to be part of you, Tjarks, that gets excited for the idea of what Jaden Hardy could be long-term for the Mavs.
Definitely. I think it was a great gamble. I haven't got to see him live yet, so I'm not going to say too much, but I'm very excited just in terms of the skill set. And we're always talking about, like, with a big playmaker like Luka. Well, that gives you more flexibility with the rest of your roster. So you have a guy like Jaden who's only 6'3", 6'4". He can, like, be your quote-unquote point guard and just get buckets playing off Luka. And that's the idea, and it's definitely an intriguing idea. I'm very curious to see how it works out. The Mavs have not developed young players well, but now we have a new coach. I'm excited to see Jason Kidd in that role, see how that works out.
Yeah, I mean, it is and Summer League is like the ideal situation for a Hardy type. I mean, it's like we were joking with
this year's Cam Thomas, maybe.
Right, Cam Thomas is out there.
Cam Thomas is a Summer League legend, like, not even a question.
Cam Thomas was like, y'all cannot guard me, and he just like every time down, you could just see him just like, I'm scoring here
for sure.
And like Hardy has the same kind of energy, I think.